What up, YouTube? Welcome back. This is Clean Cut Mace with another video. Please like, please subscribe. If you're new, please subscribe. Feel free to comment on anything that you learn or you wish you want me to go a little bit into more detail in this video. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. I have shingles. Shingles has another name, which is also called the herpes zoster virus, and it's not the herpes virus that's most people think of, and the one that most people think of is the sexually transmitted herpes virus. And this herpes virus that's sexually transmitted and the herpes zoster virus is two completely different things. Now they have both kind of have, for the most part, similar effects where your body kind of breaks out and have certain sores. Not really sores, more so like rashes, little bumps, painful bumps and blisters. But they're caused by two different things. You have the sexually transmitted herpes, which you get from sex from somebody else who has it. And you usually only really get it that way for the most part, at least to the best of my knowledge. You get it from sexual activity. And then the herpes zoster virus is, in most layman's terms, the adult version of chickenpox. So how do you get shingles? Most of the time, 99% of the time, you don't just up and get the shingles virus. There's different stages of it. The first stage of it is the chickenpox virus. So more likely, if you ever had chickenpox, you're going to have it in your younger years. It's very well possible for you to get it in your older years, but more than likely, if you ever get it in your life, you would more likely have it in your younger years. When I had it as a toddler. And when you get treated for it, it never goes away. It's just, the treatment is just stops the symptoms of the chickenpox virus from continuing to worsen, and it suppresses it. And when it's suppressed, it sits dormant in the back of your body, on your, not necessarily on your spine, but very close to your spine, in a nerve, and just sit there dormant. Now, as you get older, certain things can trigger it and make it reactivate itself. And then once it's reactivated, then at that moment it's considered shingles. Few things that can trigger it. In certain people, you have different things. They say strawberries can trigger it. Nuts like walnuts, acorn. Well, we don't eat acorns. Walnuts, cashews, peanuts, stuff of that nature, or pretty much anything in the nut family. They say in certain people, chocolate can trigger it, or things that have chocolate in it. Also, stress can trigger it. So if you kind of like stress out about a lot of stuff like school or just life in general, it's perfectly normal to stress a little bit, but sometimes that stress, like I said, can trigger that herpes zoster virus to activate itself or reactivate itself from chickenpox. And another thing that usually was more common than other, which triggers it, is usually a weakened immune system. So our immune system can weaken by not eating healthy or not drinking enough water. Now, because of how our bodies is and how God, or how our higher power made our bodies are naturally made to kind of heal itself. So whenever your immune system or certain things in your body start to go wrong, naturally your body on its own would try to correct it. So just because you have a weak immune system now does not mean you will forever have a weak immune system. There's ways of boosting your immune system. Like, for one, drinking more water, eating more healthy, put a little more vitamin C in your body, stuff of that nature. It kind of can boost your immune system back to its normal levels, or to where it's supposed to be, for your body can function properly. Um, how did I know that I had it? At first, I didn't know that I had it. Um, I'm a guy, and as most of us guys anyway, we usually don't go to the hospital unless we feel like we absolutely have to, um, or we're forced to go. Like, for example, if we get in an accident, 9 times out of 10, the ambulance come, they're just going to take us right there anyway. Or if we at home feel like we're having a heart attack or something of that nature, then we'll go. But for the most part, little stuff, us men, we usually, which is a bad habit, we usually don't really go to the hospital unless we, like I said, absolutely have to. So when I felt like something was wrong, was a couple Saturdays ago. I woke up, it's about 7ish in the morning, and I'm making my bed, and I'm reaching over my bed to tuck the sheets on the other side of the bed. I feel this really sharp pain in my back, and it feels like someone took a knife this long and literally just stuck it in my back. I instantly kind of like pulled myself back and kind of like, fell on the floor a little bit. And as I'm on the floor, I'm there for a little while, and I'm just like, okay, something isn't right. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I know for a fact something isn't right, because I've never felt that pain before. But I laid there for a little while and said to myself, it probably is just, I probably pulled a muscle or something. I don't know, because I've never felt the pain. I didn't know what it was. So I said to myself, I just lay here for a minute and it should go away. I ended up laying there for about five minutes or so, and I got up. The pain was still there, but it wasn't as sharp. It kind of, when I felt the pain initially, it was like 11, 12 on a 10 scale. It hurted bad as shit. And by the time I got up from off the floor, it was about a 5. It was bearable, but it was still kind of like straddling that fence, like it's about to get more serious than what it is. I didn't think nothing of it. So maybe I can go to sleep and sleep it off, or it just go away on its own. Because like I said, our bodies naturally heal itself. So days go by, and this pain is still sitting there, and it's like a consistent pain. But every so often, the pain would like go from like a 5, and it'd shoot up to about like a 9, a 10, or whatever, and then drop back down to 5. And it's like random moments I keep having these random sharp pains. But when the pain started, it started in my back on my left side. And as the days go on and multiple days go by, the pain started to spread around my body, from the back of my body towards the front of my body. So by this time, what made me kind of like feel around, started like, okay, I need to make an appointment or whatever, was about 4 days into it. Like I said, the pain was still a consistent pain. I couldn't sleep it off. When I was sleeping, once I lay on that side, it would hurt like, I can't even explain. I could be in my deepest sleep, just that REM phase sleep, where you just completely just out, and I would feel that sharp pain. Instantly, I would just snap up like that, and I would sit up for a while, lay back down on the opposite side, and by nature, because I sleep a certain way, I would roll back over to that side, and that pain would keep coming back and would keep coming back, and I would keep rolling and keep coming back. But I realized, I can't sleep like this. Those last couple of nights, I didn't get any sleep. I couldn't sleep. Every single movement that I made with my body, it hurted. I couldn't sit down like I am now, and get comfortable, because literally I can move like this, it hurt. I can move back, side to side. Anywhere I moved, it hurt. So the day before I went to the actual ER, which was a Thursday, so this was about 6 days, 5 or 6 days into me actually feeling all this pain. The day before I actually went, it feels like I had this itch on my back. So I'm scratching my back, I'm reaching behind, and I feel this bump. And this bump was like the size of probably about your thumbnail. And I'm like, okay. But at this time I was with my lady and one of my sons, and I said, what is this? Can you take a picture of this with my phone so I can see what it is? And with my shirt up, she said, okay, hold on, you have this, and then you have like this line of other ones that look exactly like it. And what it was more actual little bumps, blisters or whatever. It's going from the back, from my back towards the front. And in my front, I had a few bumps here, and then the rest of them kind of like was like a strip. And what that is when I went to the ER, I said, I don't know what this is. And I was in the ER for about a good 2-3 hours. And 3 different doctors told me, they said, yeah, you have shingles. And I didn't know what it was. I said, how do you get it? And they said, you for the most part, you only get it from having chicken pox as a child or whatever. And they told me, like I just told you all, that when it's treated, it never goes away. It just sits dormant. And by sitting dormant, it just can, at any moment, certain things can trigger it. But I don't know what triggered it back inside of me to reactivate itself. So they prescribed me with 3 different medicines. 2 of which were like antiviral medicines that kind of fight the virus itself, and the nerve, and help kind of block it from continuing on. And those 2 were what was it, Zavorax, which is 800 milligram. Let me see if I can. Was a 800 milligram tablet, and I was prescribed 35 of those, and I was supposed to. They look like this. Little blue pills. They look like this. And I'm supposed to take one 5 times a day for 7 days, or until they're gone or whatever. And they said you have to complete all of them. And then the other medicine that they prescribed that was kind of the same way was Valtrex. Now Valtrex is a little bit stronger. It's less tablets, and it's also price-wise a lot more expensive. So to anybody who ever get this illness, this herpes zoster, shingles virus, or if, I'm not calling anybody out, if anybody was to ever contract herpes, this would be the same medicine that they would use, either the Zavorax or the Valtrex, because they both do the same thing. And herpes zoster is kind of have the same side effects of the actual sexually transmitted herpes disease, but they're, like I said, they're 2 different things. Now, the next question: is it contagious? Yes, it is, for a certain period of time. And that time frame is typically whenever you have the outbreak. When you have the outbreak, you don't want to be around people without it being covered up. And you can have this outbreak on your stomach, your back, your chest, your neck, and usually on your part of your face. But they say it's more dangerous if you get it on your face, because like if it's closer to your eyes, it can cause people to go blind. Luckily for me, I didn't have it here or whatever. Mine was just on my stomach, stomach and back. How it can be spread? It can be spread by your sores, anybody coming in contact with your sores, or let's say you're talking and you accidentally spit on somebody. Some people have they talk with like a lisp, or some people actually pronounce their letters with a little bit more emphasis, and it causes them to kind of spit a little bit. So you can pass it on that way, and it's usually, it only really affects people who, 1 of 2 things, or maybe 1 of 3 things. 1, never had a vaccine for it. but nowadays, usually as kids, to get in most schools anyway, they literally, I don't care what anybody says, they force you to get these vaccines. Regardless of what you believe in, they force you to get these vaccines so that way you can get into their school for their own reasons. Not to say who's right and who's wrong, but it's what they do. It affects, like I said, it affects people who've never been vaccinated against it, and it affects babies and usually older people who never had chickenpox, or for that matter, anybody who never had chickenpox or the vaccine. Now, if you were to get it from somebody else, it wouldn't be shingles right away. It would be chickenpox. You would have the beginning phase of it, and then it would transition to shingles. Now, just because you have chickenpox does not mean you will always have shingles. It's estimated that 1 out of every 5 people who have chickenpox, 1 out of every 5 people who have chickenpox will have shingles. I guess I was one of the lucky ones to have shingles. It hurts like hell. Guess it was just my luck of the straw. But there's surprisingly a lot of people who have shingles in my age bracket. I used to think that shingles usually only happen to older people, like 50 and older, but now that I'm aware of it and I've actually got it once, more and more people around my age bracket actually has it than I've actually thought. You know, you can continue to look on YouTube, you can look on Google it. A lot of people in their teens and 20s can get this disease or this virus. I'm not going to say disease, it's not a disease, it's a virus. Get this virus. But to actually go into it a little bit more, how long does it last? How long does it last? Typically varies on the person and their body type and their diet, and just for the most part just fate itself. Some people it could last for 2 weeks. Other people it can last up to a year. The sores themselves typically usually last about a week to roughly a month. They're uncomfortable as hell. Sometimes they itch. Sometimes they just sting. They're like, sometimes they're just tingling. There's a number of things that they do. It was one point in time where I think it was the night right before I was going. Nope, it was the night after I actually went to the hospital, and they gave me prescriptions. I was going to sleep, and the first sharp pain woke me back up. Stood up for a minute, then I laid back down, and the next morning, it hurt to have the shirt on, and it's like not hurt because the shirt is small or anything. It hurt because the fabric itself in the shirt was touching the outbreak, and it was sting. It's just a really uncomfortable feeling. So a lot of times for a couple of days I walked around without my shirt on, which doesn't really bother me anyway. For the most part, I'm really the only one here. But sometimes that's one of the side effects. A lot of people I know from doing a little bit of research, if they catch it in their teens and 20s, they would miss a good period of time in school because of this. This is very painful. It's very irritating, and when you have it, you spend a lot of your time thinking about it, which is weird. It's like you ever get a cold or your nose stopped up. You usually only think about all the time that your nose wasn't stopped up, and you taking that time for granted now. You kind of do the same thing with this. You think about all the times you didn't have it or it didn't hurt. It's usually because this kind of consumes your mind a lot, and if you don't know about it, it would scare you. Next, for pain. For pain, it usually for your pain, it typically on depends on what will work for you, because what will work for you may not always work for me, and vice versa. Um, I've taken a leave before for the pain, and it didn't work. I took double doses at times, and it wouldn't work. So when I was a doctor, I said, I'm taking this and this and that, whatever, and nothing seems to be working. So they prescribed me hydrocodone, which is another name or knockoff brand name for Vicodin, which is a drug that can get very addicting. But she said, don't take it all the time. Just take it when that pain is like unbearable. So now back to how long it lasts. When the rash goes away or the blisters and stuff goes away, it's clear, but in certain people, you have post pain. I mean, like you have pain after the symptoms and everything else go away. You can be back normal, but then you just have this. Certain people have this ongoing pain that usually lasts another extra couple weeks, all the way up into a full whole year or slightly beyond that. And sometimes you literally can't do anything about the pain except take certain pain pills. But if you haven't pain that long, more than likely they will try to give you something that is not as addicting, and they'll probably just give you a stronger dose of it. And you just kind of hang in there, man. It's just hard. I know for a fact it's easier said than done because it hurts. The little time that I've had it, it hurt it. I miss church. I miss spending time with my kids. I missed going out to be able to do certain things because of the amount of pain that I've actually been through with it. But now I'm just about over it. I've taken another pain pill earlier. For the most part, for the last 2 days or so, the pain hasn't been bad. It's about a 1 or a 2, so I can go through my day without having to take any pain meds. But I do have to continue to take the Zavorax until it's completely gone. So that was my experience with shingles and a little information about it. So if you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you know anybody that's going through this, please share this video with them. Try to comfort them the best you can. Be a little bit supportive. If you can give them like some cooling gel to put on the rash. You can give them some ice packs or something. I don't know, just kind of be a little bit supportive, because that will probably make their time having it, or the pain during the virus activation period, a little bit more bearable. Sometimes there's just things you just can't do because of the pain is so much. So people may get a little bit crabby, but just please forgive them ahead of time, because like I said, it's just the virus itself that can really get people out of their element. So, not to bore you all, please like. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll have more videos coming back up on my channel about either a vlog, something to do with psychology, something to do with motivation, or stuff of that nature. Knowledge is free. Education is free. You just have to pay attention. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks.